Your words have been stout against me, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, what have we spoken against thee? Ye have said, it is vain to serve God, and what doth it profit that we have kept his ordinances, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? And now we call the proud happy, yea, that they that work wickedness are set up, yea, they that tempt God are even delivered. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. So the book of remembrance, when you enter into a time in your life when all of your past doings, or you start to remember, you start to remember what should be done, or you start to remember certain experiences in your life that relates to the current situation or the current event taking place now. This is a form of forgiveness. Know that you are being forgiven, and therefore God is restoring your memory so that you may continue on in a righteous path. And this is only towards those who really, call upon his name and thought mindfully. God is listening to you. God is hearing you. God is hearing your call. And therefore, this is the time of forgiveness. God is forgiving you so that you can remember and be mindful. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels. I will spare them as a man spareth his own son, and serveth him. Then shall ye, so I will spare them. I will, let go of all of what they done. I will forgive you for your sins, just like, your child has done something really, really bad, but you can't really hold it against them because they're your child, and this is how children of God are saved, because since you are my child, I'm going to forgive you, and I'm going to guide you on the right path going forward. And that's just how any parent is. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. So then God is guiding the path of you, because you have been forgiven, and with this going forward, you will have to discern. You will have to have real intense discernment so that you can discern between what's right and what's good, and whatever you come up with in that remembrance state. You have to always basically use your remembrance to guide you. And this is why God is giving you, this is why God has gave you back that remembrance, because you are forgiven. And therefore, with that remembrance, it's like a key, it's like an eye opener, it's like a guide into returning back to the Lord. It's kind of like this. Okay, so there was this one time, I guess we had like this Bible study teacher, and she came in and she was like, yeah, I lost my keys. And I love the way she was, because she was just she used everything as a metaphor that was going on in her life. So she was like, yeah, I lost my keys. And I feel like I didn't get it at the time of what she was talking about. But she was just basically saying, her keys has been gone for so long, and she'd been looking for them. She couldn't find them. She checked everywhere, and they just been gone. And those is like the keys to her, I guess to her car or something. I'm just like, wow. Or to her house, or it's just her main keys. She lost her keys. So when I think about like God giving you back your remembrance, is like God taking away them keys from you, and eventually you find them. That's God saying, here, I forgive you. I had time to think about everything that you did. And I had time to just, figure it out. So while God is, replenishing your spirit and healing you, your keys are being taken from you, because in the midst of your healing, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. It's a lot of things that can happen to you in the midst of your healing. A lot of people can, interfere with it. So it's like, I got to take this away from you for a certain amount of time so that you can heal. Another thing I can think about is like, how you get into it with your boyfriend, or you get into it with your girlfriend, or y'all married or something. Well, y'all not yet married, but y'all seeing each other, and you gave him a key, and you're like, okay, I can trust you. I really like you. I want to make something more out of what this is. So here, I'm going to give you a key to my apartment. So you give this person the key, but then they start kind of just abusing your trust, and they take you for granted. They take advantage of you, and so now you're feeling some type of way, and now it's just like, okay, I gave you the key, but now I'm gonna need that key back, because now I don't trust you. This person has done something wrong to make you not trust them, and now they're taking that key. So this is another way you can think of it as well. I'm taking away the key because you've done something that I just feel like I can't trust you no more. So I'm gonna need my key back, and we can continue to talk or something, but I'm gonna have to get my head on straight about this situation. So then they take away the key. Later on, they're like, okay, I figured it out. I looked at a lot of stuff, and I just thought about it, and I reflected. A lot of people need space. I need space. This person needed space for a long time, just to kind of just, think about everything. Maybe me giving you this key was too, like, I did it a little bit too soon. Like, there was something in her gut or his gut that was saying, I don't know if I made the right choice. So they had to go back, and they had to reflect. And then later on, they're like, okay, here's the key. I'll give you the key back. I thought about it. I thought long and hard about it. I seen that I couldn't trust you. Well, I felt like I couldn't trust you, but now that I really reflected on what happened, now I can trust you, and now I'm giving back your key. So just think of that as a form of forgiveness. So yeah, that's something that I just wanted to throw in there as well. So yeah, let's continue on. Will a man rob God? Yet they have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes unto the storehouse, that they may be meat in my house. And prove me now herewith, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for the sakes that he shall destroy the fruits of your ground. Neither shall the vine cast her fruits before the time in the field, say the Lord of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. Your words have been stout against me, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, what have we spoken against thee? Ye have said it. It is vain to serve God. That what doth it profit? That we have kept his ordinances, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts. So the part I kind of want to talk about was bring all your tithes onto. So basically, you have robbed God. Whoever has robbed God is cursed. And what I mean by this is, like, you robbing God is like, you're intentionally treating a certain person a certain way. So the fact that you're treating this person a certain way to get what you want, and you know that this person serves God. So you're treating this person so that whatever is serving them will serve you. And this is robbing God, because this person is of God. So a lot of people are robbing God. Especially nowadays, they're robbing God because they're so desperate for forgiveness. They're desperate to be in your good grace, so that God won't, suspect them. And this is just as any evil person, like a serpent. The serpent getting Eve to bite the apple, knowing the apple was, even though she was not supposed to bite the apple, but the fact that she bought the apple, she allowed the serpent to come into her temple. And this is what is going on. So it's just like, when a person will trick you, these type of people that's robbing God are tricking you so that they can dwell into your presence, in your space, to get into your temple, so that God won't, see them for who they are. So so the devil can kind of just pretend to be, basically it's kind of like the demon is disguising himself as for your energy or who you are in your destiny. They're trying to slip their way into your presence, because you are in the presence of God, and they're like, if I do this, just like a person walking in with a hoodie, like, if I do, they're trying to basically slither their way around you, so that God will see them as you, in a way, if you can kind of understand that. And this is how the devil is, because honestly, if you really think about it, the devil is afraid of God. And that's why, the devil, is trying and trying and trying, even till now. From back then, he's still trying to get to God, to get in God's place, to take away God's creation, and to basically make it seem as though this is his creation, trying to take credit. And this whole time, the devil was trying to be like God. You know, the devil wants to be worshipped. The devil wants that love and all of that you give to God. The devil wants you to treat him the same way. You know, so the devil is after God's children specifically, for this reason. So that's why I am saying that, you know, those who are stealing from the Lord, and those who are, you know, those who are stealing from the Lord, you are cursed. And God knows what you do before you do it. Just like the one guy, you know, he knew he was going, when they sat there and broke bread and they drunk blood, and he walked away from the table, and he basically went and, you know, did what he did, and God knew. He was like, go ahead and do what you do. God already know what you're going to do before you do it. So when you steal, God is just like, you know, okay, cool, you know, enjoy it for this moment, but there are going to be consequences for what you just did, you know. So everything that you do, know that God knows. And, you know, and there will be a punishment for what you have done. And this is exactly why I don't know why people do what they do. You know, y'all know what y'all doing. Y'all know that God knows what you're doing, and you're still doing it. That's just Satan. You know, they're happy and they're prideful about doing wrong, knowing that you're doing wrong. And that's how you can discern between righteous people and evil people. You know, people of the devil's children, they're going to laugh and everything and know that they're doing wrong. In the midst of what they're doing wrong, they're just enjoying themselves. That's how you know they're the devil's child. But they're not God's children, because they don't care about the punishment. They're going to keep trying to tempt God's children, because their goal at the end of the day, their intention at the end of the day, is to get you on the side with the devil. So it's like, ha ha, he, I'm doing my job. You know, the best thing you can do is not fall into their temptations, because regardless of what they do, they already in hell. They already with the devil. You know, they have nothing to be guilty for. They don't have no guilty, you know, they don't have a guilty conscience, because they don't have a conscience. So when you're questioning why they're doing what they're doing, and you're feeling a certain way, know that they're not feeling a certain way about you. So why are you feeling a certain way about them? Just keep on going and keep doing what you got to do, because demons will be demons. They're going to continue to do what they do, you know, and they're not going to have no type of heart about it. While you feeling some type of way, and they're eating your heart out. Like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I'm eating. Yeah, this is, you know, you got some good you know, thoughts in here. I love your perspective. I love your point of view, and they're just, you know, devouring you. The whole time they're devouring you while you're feeling a certain way. But no, they are stone cold. So however you're feeling, they're not feeling anything, no guilt, no shame. They're not going to come into you and apologize about what they're doing. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're serving the devil, as they should. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Grand rising, y'all. And yeah, just stay woke and stay prayed up, and ask God for wisdom in times like these, because, you know, they want you to feel angry. They want you to feel frustrated, because at the end of the day, they're only getting their way with you. Don't allow them to get their way with you. I'm missing the earring though. But yeah, Grand Rising. I'll talk to y'all next time. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share at your own free will to show you care. Bye.